welcome to today's episode. Also, welcome to our new home, at least for the next few days. This is Clearwater, Florida. Beautiful place. We came across the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sure you saw that, the panhandle of Florida travels. And now we're here at Clearwater. And today's episode, we'd like to follow up on all of the offshore projects we did, the preparations, really for the open water sailing. We've received some questions about how good were the preparations, which were the most beneficial, which preparations really helped us offshore, what would we do differently. And so we have really 5 main points we want to share with you today. 5 of the projects we did we really think were the most important for offshore prep. So we're going to share that with you today, and we're going to go through it right quickly. Let's start at the front of the boat.
I think the most important project that we did was replace our sails. Took a while for them to come in, but the new sails were like the most important thing that I think that we did for that offshore journey. We knew that our old sails, we kept them for a year. We even replaced the UV cover on the Genoa. But for sailing around the Gulf of Mexico on the Texas side, it was fine. We did great. We learned a lot. It was a little frustrating at times because the mainsail would jam. But we knew that, taking this big offshore journey, that new sails were a must. So we did replace the Genoa and we replaced the mainsail, and it was smooth sailing with the sails.
Yeah, so in addition to all the rips that our old sails had, one of the biggest problems with the old main was it continually jammed. This is a roller furler, which means to refit, we roll it in, we pull it out, and it would always jam and unreliable. To me, that was a huge safety issue that we wouldn't be able to reef, or that we wouldn't be able to get the sail out when we needed power. So this was a major upgrade. Getting the new main, it's flawless. It comes in and out like a breeze, and like a breeze. You like that? It is. We went for the offshore package from Precision Sails, which is a few minor upgrades to the sail that make it more durable and stronger. And we're changing the new colors. What do you think?
Although the solar panels weren't necessarily something we had to do to go across the Gulf or to go offshore for that many days, it was peace of mind for knowing that while we were sailing and it was sunny, during those times it was like charging and it was helping out. But being offshore with the Bimini, we wanted to make sure that we had the solar panels secured so that if something like Claudette did happen to pop up, we don't have to worry about our solar panels flying off or not being secured tightly. And the little raviolis that I sewed onto the Bimini were perfect. These solar panels, we didn't even think about the solar panels during those high winds, 40-knot winds, the storm. When we got to the anchorage and we went to check on them, everything was right where we left it. It was secure, it was in place. So that was a great method of making sure that they're secure in heavy winds.
Oh, you go, girl.
It was your idea, but I implemented it.
We didn't really plan for being an offshore preparation, but we added support to the Bimini in addition to the solar panels. We added the supports mainly for the next phase of our solar panel. The supports we added were a stainless bar across here, a stainless bar forward, and this really just added rigidity to the Bimini. And when we were in those 40 knots of winds, that was a major concern. When is this going to rip off, right? It didn't even move an inch. So previously we were in 20 knots winds, how the Bimini was set up before, and it moved a lot, it shook a lot. I think to the point where something would have came loose in the stronger winds. Let's go to the back and I'll show you this one too. The third support we added was this triangulation right here, which adds rigidity to the side-to-side movement. So these were major upgrades. We didn't intend them to be, but as we were offshore in the storm, we found out that they were huge upgrades. One more thing up here. I just had my coffee, so we're good. This lateral support, I guess you could call it that, the horizontal bar, also is a great place to store extra lines. Mocha's life vest over here. We use it to store our gloves. So it's just become very valuable. When we were offshore, we took the windshield off, and stepping in and out of the cockpit, it's just one more bar to hold on to. I think it was worth it. $300 project in all the stainless steel, but definitely money well spent. Okay, so we talked sails. The second project was Bimini. The third project was another one we really didn't intend to do. It was kind of a last minute purchase, and that was the new Mantis anchor. We had a great CQR. It never dragged on us prior to this. However, the chain was rusty, so we wanted to upgrade the chain. And we figured at the same time, might as well increase the chain length and get a new technology anchor. CQR has been around, I think, since like the 1930s. It was a great anchor.
Had a gash in it.
Ours had a gash in it. Ours was not from the 30s. The technology was. But ours did have a gash in the plow part of the anchor. So it was a good time to go ahead. If we're going to live as much on the anchor as we are now, might as well make it a great insurance policy. So we upgraded the chain from 20 feet, or no, it was 40 feet to 100 feet. And we have 160 feet of nylon road. So new chain is beautiful. The anchor held perfectly when the meat of Claudette hit the land. We also saw 45 knots on the anchor. We didn't move an inch. And we have it snubbed using a dock line. As simple as a dock line, we use a single snubber dock line approach, and it does great. And I think it's a major safety upgrade.
So diesel cans. When we bought the boat, there were 6 diesel cans on board, and this Catalina is a coastal cruiser, which means you're sailing by the coast. You should be able to pop in and get, refuel with diesel. But we were going offshore, so we had 6, and I thought, okay, that's plenty. And then before I knew it, we had 10 because Matt wanted a few more. And then right before we left, he got 2 more, so that we had 12 cans, 6 on each side. They're 5-gallon tanks. And I tell you what, when we were out there the first few days, we had to motor so much. It was it was a secure feeling knowing that we had so much fuel on board. Once Claudette hit, we were sailing hardcore, but knowing that we had enough fuel up until we were sailing and getting into that inlet for safety, it was a great feeling. So the Iridium Go was hands down one of the most, I don't know what word I'm looking for, where I felt like, okay, we have a connection back to land. Not only did it update our predict wind weather routing, it tracked us on our website so that our friends and family could see where we were during the whole time, all through Claudette. And they were able to message us and let us know some weather updates, what was coming our way, if we were almost out of it. And just knowing that someone was kind of looking out for us as we're trying to decide which way to go and what to do was very calming, and it just really kind of helped everything to just kind of stay in perspective, It was great to be able to chat back and forth with your family. During one of my night shifts, I was sending messages to my sister, and that was like, okay, I still get to be in contact with them. We had our crew on board, and their family was able to call them a couple times a day on the satellite phone, and kind of just, hearing someone's voice that you love, it just kind of brightens your day when you've been out there for a few days. And so it was...
They called a lot. Way to keep track of Eric, Joni.
But it was great. It was great to just be in contact with her and with our families, and I think it was one of the best options. We looked at several different tools to get, and I think Iridium was the way for us to go with the needs that we had crossing the Gulf.
If you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up. It was informative. It wasn't adventuresome, but I hope it was helpful and interesting or entertaining. If you're not a subscriber yet, I invite you to subscribe, and we look forward to sharing the rest of our journey, or not the entire rest of it, but we look forward to sharing next week's episode with you. I always ramble at the end. Please forgive me. We got chores to do.
How's it feel?
We finally made it to Clearwater. I cannot believe it. And we were going to wait until, what, today to start our journey? Whew. Glad we did do that.
What do you mean by start our journey?
To Clearwater, remember? We were going to anchor last night up in
yeah.
St. George Sound
Oh.
and then come today. I'm glad we went ahead and made the choice to come yesterday.
Me too.
It's over with. We made it. Now help me clean up so we can eat some dinner.